Hi, everybody. This is Robin again. We are going to do a session. I had someone ask to do the session, and I agreed to it because I didn't know who this person was, and I just felt deeply to do it. He kind of is along the same lines as Anthony Bourdain, and actually, she made a comment on Anthony Bourdain's site to do this. I didn't know anything about him. Quite an intriguing character. Died pretty much the same way as Kate Spade and Anthony Bourdain passed away from asphyxiation through hanging. And he was 40, I believe. He is a designer, a British, and very much a rebel in design. He liked to push the limits, probably push the limits of design and push the limits of society and push the limits of himself. And thus never being satisfied, because there is no limits. When there is no limits, you just keep going, you keep going. And I believe there's some drug abuse, and he did state that on here. So I did channel him. It's only about 19 minutes. He's kind of a complicated, most of these people, they're very complicated. It's hard for me to wrap my head around them because these people are achieving the most wildest dreams, and they have achieved it and are achieving it, and they still struggle with depression and self unsatisfaction, if that's a word. They're never satisfied with self. They're never satisfied with what people can give them. They're just never satisfied. Thus depressed, thus kind of have a hatred that permeates out of them. Um, I think he was an okay guy. I think he, uh, I think he was difficult to work with. I think he was very difficult. He did um, the main reason. I try to figure out a main reason why they want to come through, and the main reason he will say on here to people that he worked with and models, mostly models. He has something wants to say to you. This seems to be, Hollywood is in the limelight, and it seems to be a very cruel uh, um, towards women and what people have to do to attain their dreams. Thus, this man, Alexander, I call him Alex, he said the modeling field and high fashion field is much more awful and hard, and it does bad things to people because these people are so wanting to be somebody and famous, and they think it's a step up for them. So they'll accept the cruelty, they'll accept the abuse because they figure they have to. They'll accept whatever's done to them because it's in the name of their job, which we know is not true. So I'm just going to play this. I don't know this man. I just deliver information. And if it resonates with who he is, I believe it was him coming forward with me. And he's had a lot to learn. He's had some time in the next realm. I'm not going to say heaven because I don't believe it's heaven. It's the next realm. And he's working on whatever he has to do and make a betterment of himself, to understand his own self-worth and integrity. And so when he comes again on earth, if you believe in reincarnation, then he will do it better. And he'll still have those same talents. So watch out to the next upcoming fashion designers. So let me see if I can find his audio. If you hear a fan behind me, it is because it's 100 degrees outside. I turned my air conditioning off because I had a girl just blast me about my air conditioner, and I have some new neighbors, so I have been recording in my second bedroom, but obviously they can hear me, and they start pounding on the walls. So, it's just a product of living in an environment where you're living around people. So please be patient. If you hear sounds in the background, it's just where I am and where I live. So here we go. Oh, oops, hold on. Hold on, sorry guys. Now you know if I can remember how to do this. Sorry. There we go. We're going to do a short session today there with Alex McQueen, fashion designer, died in 2010. He is here. It was requested that you come forth, and he says yes. So, do you want to channel or do you want to go with the copper rods? Oh, I never knew I could do that. Yeah. Okay. So give me a second, everybody. I love this picture. That is quite complimentary that someone would want me to talk 9 years later after my death. It's quite extraordinary here where I am. It's different than I thought it would be. I thought for sure I would go to hell, not only for committing suicide, but for acts that I did in my life, which is nobody's business but my own. You see, who I was from my upbringing, what I saw, the environment I lived in, and the environment that trained me in fashion design. It's a cruel environment, very cruel. All the public sees is the beauty of it, which is an outcome. A lot of sweat and tears happen to make a beautiful garment. I stretched my mind, and I was able to do that. I had no control over me at the end, and I was able to do what I wanted in fashion design. But also I made beautiful clothes for women and men and children. I came from a depressed state from a very young age. I think when you're gay and you're young, and my mother came to accept my gayness, but my father really judged me. I never ever achieved his acceptance. And then I think my father got jealous of me when I bypassed him financially. We spoke, but not really. Not about anything substantial. So I'm allowed into this vessel to talk to you. I did kill myself, as the same way as many people are doing it. It seems to be fashionable to asphyxiate yourself and hang yourself. So for the rich, that is the way they choose to do it. It's actually, I want to say, quite harmonious in death. I would not recommend it. So after you pass over, you have people that guide you. I had these people that held of me, and they're like spirits. That's the best I could describe them. And even though I was spirit, I didn't understand I was spirit. I still thought I was a man. And they grabbed hold of me and whisked me off. And they showed me my life, like from birth to when I killed myself. Some things made me laugh. Some things made me cry. And some of my actions were quite disgusting. But not, just most people would think that in their lives, that they would turn their heads on some things. To be honest with you, what I've learned is I really didn't understand my life. I didn't understand anything except fashion and attaining and controlling. I wanted full control of whatever I wanted or I chose to do. And others were to abide me. I didn't really take good care of my body. And thus, the depression set in, which, as we've talked before on this vessel, Robin has talked before, that the drugs chemically alter your brain. So if you're depressed before, when you come down off your highs, you will be 10 times more depressed, and you will see no way out. As most of us that have seen asphyxiate themselves, that is what I wanted to do, because I knew it wouldn't alter myself. I don't know how to explain that. If you shoot yourself in your head, it alters your body. I wanted just to be released through asphyxiation. I didn't like guns. I didn't like weapons. Well, I kind of like weapons as a control thing, but not to harm myself. I was not a stable-minded person. I would rant off into many directions. Focusing was hard. The drugs helped me do that. I could stay up all night working on a piece, a design, and it would be magnificent. But that was not healthy for my body or my mind. But I didn't care. It took me to a place where I needed to be to get things done. That's all I cared about. I didn't care about anybody around me. Just work with me. We'll get it done. Doesn't matter if it took, 24 hours of staying up. You just did it. If you needed drugs to get you there, you just did it. Let me go back. So I was taken by actually 2 other spirits. All I see is white. Really didn't go down a tunnel. They just grabbed me and took off to a visual room. As I say, I saw my life and my death. Then they took me to another room that was actually all marble. Marble floors, pillars, marble walls, very plain, white, kind of white cream marble with kind of like, the floor was a little shiny, like you could almost slip on it. And they had me stand in the middle of this room, this cream white marble room with pillars. I stood there and waited and waited. And then, as just quick as anything, it went to black. a screen came on, which caught my attention, so I watched. Even though I was standing in black, I don't know if I was in space, I don't know where I was, but it was black. Not even the floor. I couldn't even see my hand in front of my face, because in my mind I'm still a man, but I wasn't. So I watched. This screen showed me what my life would be like if I didn't take my life. And when that was finished, then another screen came up, and it showed me if I chose a different path for my life, how my life could have been different with different choices that I made. And that was quite remarkable. I had no idea I could be that strong, that influential in a different way, even though it would still be in fashion. Instead of living my life for myself, it showed me of living a selfless life, which was my destiny, but I did not choose that path, thus shortening my life by probably 40 years. I tried to love in my life, but I found that it was more self-gratification. I was a little bit of a sociopath. Just a little bit. Mostly that's the drugs that make you that way. Life was either outrageously good for me or outrageously sad. I had many loves in my life and many disappointments at the same time. Even though I had everything, I still had a heart that could be broken. And it broke. I knew I was done, because I actually brought a lot of hate. What you saw in some of my fashion shows was my hate and my anger towards myself. Don't know if you get that, because there's no boundaries. When you have a life of no boundaries, you have no life. Because you're never satisfied. I do miss Earth life. I have been in a segment of this place that is quite interesting. It's hard to explain where I'm at, because now I understand I'm in spirit. I killed myself. I'm not a man. And I'm working on retribution, I guess I could say. I'm working on myself. So if I choose to come back down, I can attain my talents and abilities, but I will live more of a selfless life. But my other control, selfishness, was deep-seated in me from childhood on. I fought from the beginning of time. It seems like I was a fighter. And I wanted to be more. I always wanted to be more. I was never satisfied where I was at. I wanted more. I wanted to be more. I wanted to do more. I did that, let's do something else, let's do something else, let's do something else. I was never satisfied. So when you're never satisfied or find a sense of accomplishment in yourself, you just finish that show, you go to the next one. And you're not fulfilled because you keep striving. What was I striving for? What was it? I just couldn't attain the impossible. And why it was so impossible is because I didn't have any idea what it was. I had to attain something in myself. I was trying to attain things outside myself to bring an inkling of peace. I don't believe in happiness. I didn't believe in happiness. I believed in peace. I could always bring happiness to me. I could hire happiness. Happiness is temporary. But to be peaceful inside yourself is something I couldn't understand, I couldn't grasp. That's why I kept going and going and going and going, because I couldn't attain it. I couldn't attain that satisfaction of life. I couldn't attain that I had all this in my head, all these designs in my head, and they kept calling to me. And I had to keep going and going and going. And the drugs, and more drugs, and more. And so I just couldn't go anymore. And I was extremely sad when I killed myself. Extremely depressed. I just couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't perform. I felt like I was in the circus performing. And I always had to top myself. And I just couldn't do it anymore. The modeling and fashion industry is cruel. Only the people inside know how cruel that industry is. Oh, it's so cruel. There's no sanctity in that industry. You thought Hollywood was bad. Try the fashion industry. It's the most cruel industry there is. Yet it will just chew you up and spit you out. As I did, I'm part of that. I was like that. I had people I liked to work beside me that I could trust and had the same vision as me, but there is, those models, those poor models, they go through so much cruelty and abuse, and they have to do whatever we want if they want to be a model or someone, and they got to do it. They have to do whatever we want them to do. And now I see that how I didn't treat them as people. I got along with a few of them, but most models have a very cruel world to live in, which I'm sorry for. And I want to apologize to many of them for any cruelties, injustice that I put upon your life. I apologize for that. I really didn't know what I was doing. And now I see more humanness to people instead of being just what I wanted them to be so I could attain my goal. So I just really wanted to come forth to apologize to many people that I wronged in the industry, out of the industry, any lovers that I wronged, that I was cruel to. I'm so sorry. Just know that this is an apology out of a type of love that I'm learning. And when I come down again, To my next life, I will do it better. Signing off, Alexander McQueen. Okay. That was pretty nice. That was very nice for him to come forward and bring that apology to many, to let people know that really suicide isn't the way to go. Maybe you just need help to understand who you are, where you need to be, and there's people to help you with that, and there's friends to help you with that, and that will help seek you in the right direction. You just need to voice your opinion. You need to talk and let people help you. Um, we're going to leave it at that. I brought something here, but I think I'm not going to do that. We'll do it on the next Bigfoot video. I have some rocks that I painted that I wanted to do a giveaway. So in the next Bigfoot video, we'll do a giveaway. All you have to do is put your name in a comment or make a comment that says thanks or something nice. And then I will choose a name from that comment. So if you wanted to do that on this one, we can do it on this one. I still want to keep it respectful for Alexander. But if you'd like to have a hand-painted rock from me, but it's going to be about Bigfoot, put a comment. And in a month or so, when I have at least 50 comments, then we will do a drawing. So thank you, Alexander. I think he was troubled, but he also had such insight and talent, and he was around talented people, which helped him out a lot. So it's very good. They're very good. Even though it's a short life, he had a good life, and he should be glad for what he accomplished and what he attained. And instead of thinking about all the darkness and the sadness, I think he wants to release that, and he wants to be free of it, and he wants to, like he said, he wants to come back and do it better. So good job, Betty. Take care, you guys. Have a good day. Peace out. Love you all. Keep the comments nice. I'm deleting a few. Even if they say they hear my air conditioner and they get really mad about it, I'll delete them and then I'll mute them. So sorry, that's just part of where I live. So if you don't like background noise, I will try to help on that. But sometimes it's just too hot, and that's just where I live. So sorry, guys. You take care. Have a nice life. Be nice to people. You need to start thinking about looking outside yourself and giving outside yourself. There's many people that need you, that need what you can give them. You have many talents and abilities, or just able to listen. And that's sometimes the biggest thing, is just to listen. So thank you. Take care. Love you all. And we'll see you next time. They wanted Versace, and I will see if I can channel him. And he's been gone a long time. I've actually quite missed him. So he was a very talented man too. Thank you. Peace out.